Okay, so today I've had a low oil warning indicator on my car, which I'll show you in a minute. So I've just, I'm going to top up the engine with oil. Couple of things. This has to be done when the engine is warmed up to operating temperature, but not too hot. So I've just been for a quick 6-mile run to get the car up to temperature. I've just stopped and I'm waiting for about 5 minutes now for it to cool down before I go and check the oil level and open up the oil filler cap. I've stopped. My driveway's on a slight incline, so I've just stopped down the road on a flat lay-by so that the car's nice and level. And a couple of other things to bear in mind are that if you have a car with one of those starter buttons, you need to make sure you leave your keys far enough away that there's no danger of anyone coming and accidentally pressing the start button while you're working on the car. My car doesn't have that, so that's not something I need to worry about. And apart from that, I've just checked out online. I had half a bottle of oil left over from a previous service, but I just was double checking to make sure that it was the correct oil and the correct specification. If you have a look in your user manual, in your car user manual, it will tell you in there what specification of oil that you need for your car. One other thing I was going to just quickly do while I'm waiting for 5 minutes was check my service record, just to check when the last oil change was, how long ago that was, because I've never actually had to top up oil in a car before. So I just want to check how long ago that was last done, and if it wasn't that long ago, then it might indicate that there's a problem or a leak or something that I need to have a little look for, if there's any oily patches or anything like that in the engine, or even under where the car's normally parked, in which case I'll probably pop it along to the garage for them to have a look at. So I'm just going to do that now while I wait for the car to cool down, and then we'll go and check the oil level and top it up. Few things we're going to need. That's my oil, about half a bottle there that I've got left over from previous service. Some kitchen paper or toilet roll just for wiping the dipstick. A pair of plastic gloves to protect your hands from the oil. And I've got just a plastic container there, but you could use a bit of cardboard or something just to pop the oil filler cap thing on so it doesn't get grubby and grimy and full of grit and things like that. I'm also a glasses wearer, so I will have my glasses on, but if you're not a glasses wearer, it is recommended to put some eye protection on as well whilst you're doing this job, so you're not in danger of getting anything nasty in your eyes. Okay, here we are. So here's dipstick, here's the oil filler cap. So it's still a bit hot actually, I'm going to leave it a tiny bit longer. Then it's a case of take the dipstick out, wipe it off, have a look at the oil level, and then I'll take that oil level again just to check. I'll show you a picture in a minute, but there's a middle segment on the dipstick where the oil level should be. If it's above that, then well, I mean, it shouldn't be above that, but you certainly don't add any more. If it's in that bottom marked area, it means you need to top up as well. So I'll show you a picture of that in a minute. And then, all things being as suspected and needing to top up the oil, then it's a case of just remove this cap and add a very small amount at a time and keep checking the level again until it's at the desired level, or until I run out of oil, because I've only got half a bottle, and then I'll see where I am then. It's apart from cooling down, the other reason for waiting is to make sure all the oil that's running around the engine has a chance to drain back down into the sump, because otherwise when you take the reading it will read low. So I think I'm probably going to give it 5 more minutes. So here's the picture in my owner's manual. So you can see 2 different styles of dipstick here, and you can see the first one, it's got a kind of sort of shaped bevel either side of a kind of textured area on the dipstick. So the top part is area A, the middle part is B, and the bottom part is C. So if it's in C, it's too low. needs to be topped up. In B is where the level needs to be, and A means that there's too much oil in there. And then you can see on this one it's a slightly different design, but same idea, with a middle section and 2 sections each end to indicate where there's too little or too much oil. Is on the bottom there. It's right at the very bottom of the sort of B section. So we'll pop that back in, make sure it's popped in all of the way. I'm just going to remove that oil cap. Pop that in my basket just to keep it clean. It says don't put any more than half a litre at a time. I'm going to go even slower because I've not done this before. So just give it a chance to run down. Keep dipsticking until we see the level come up. You have to find a good angle to hold the bottle at and pour so that you don't pour it into the engine. We're nearly halfway up that middle marking. Let's put a bit more. About 3/4 of the way up, so I'm going to put a tiny bit more. I'm going to go for less of a glug than I've put the previous times and just do a tiny bit at a time now, because I want to be careful not to overfill. Each time I check the dipstick, I'm being careful to wipe it all the way off, and so it's clean before I take the reading again. Make sure you push it all the way in as well. We're about 3/4 of the way up. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to just want to make sure that that's had a chance to warm up and settle down, that oil. So I'm just going to give it a few minutes and then take another reading. I'm not going to try and fill it all the way to the top of that B marker because I'm not a qualified mechanic and I do want to be careful not to overfill it. So I'll see where I am, and then I'm just going to keep an eye on that oil level for the next few weeks and just see what's happening with it in case I think it needs to go and be looked at further. Do a click into place. It feels stiff, and then you just give it a bit of a turn and it sort of clicks into place and you know it's fully done up. And that's it.